A boy at the grocery store put a note in my cart reading, "Call 911. The man shopping with me isn't my dad." When I turned around, they were both staring at me. The note appeared while I was reaching for pasta sauce. 1 second, my cart was empty except for bread and milk. The next, a crumpled piece of notebook paper sat on top of the loaf. The handwriting was shaky, pressed hard enough to tear through in places. "Call 911. The man shopping with me isn't my dad. Please help. I'm scared." My hand froze on the jar of marinara. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead. An announcement about deli specials played through tinny speakers. Everything normal, everything wrong. I turned around slowly. A boy stood 3 feet away, maybe 9 years old, brown hair falling into his eyes, wearing a Seahawks jersey that hung past his knees. And beside him, a man, tall, mid-40s, khakis and a polo shirt, completely ordinary except for the way his hand gripped the boy's shoulder, too tight, possessive. They were both staring directly at me. The man's expression didn't change, didn't look surprised or angry or afraid, just watched me with flat eyes while his fingers dug into the kid's collarbone. The boy's face was pale, lips pressed together, trying not to cry. I looked down at the note again. The words blurred. My brain couldn't process what was happening. This was a grocery store on a Saturday afternoon. Families everywhere, music playing, normal life continuing around us. The man smiled, not friendly, something calculated behind it. He leaned down and said something to the boy, too quiet for me to hear. The kid nodded, picked up a box of cereal from the shelf and put it in their cart. The man's eyes never left mine. I should have screamed, should have grabbed the boy and run, should have done something immediately. Instead, I stood there holding marinara sauce like an idiot while my brain tried to catch up. The man started pushing his cart toward me, casual, unhurried. The boy walked beside him with his head down. When they got close enough, the man spoke. His voice was pleasant, normal. "Sorry about that. My son has an active imagination, always playing games." He laughed. The sound made my skin crawl. The boy kept his eyes on the floor. I looked at the note in my hand, and at the kid. "Is that true?" My voice came out steadier than I expected. "Are you playing a game?" The boy's mouth opened, closed. His eyes flicked to the man beside him, back to me, terrified. The man's grip tightened on the cart handle. "We should get going. Lots to do today." He started to move past me. I stepped sideways, blocked his path, didn't plan it, just did it. The man stopped. His pleasant expression slipped for just a second. Something cold and angry flashed across his face before the mask returned. "Excuse me," he said, still polite, still normal, but his eyes promised violence. I pulled out my phone. The man's hand shot out, grabbed my wrist, hard enough to hurt. I said, "We're leaving." His voice dropped low. Dangerous. The boy made a small sound, almost a whimper. An elderly woman pushed her cart past us, completely oblivious. The man smiled at her. She smiled back. He was still holding my wrist. I yanked free, stumbled back against my cart. The man leaned closer, whispered, "You have no idea what you're doing. Walk away, forget this, or I promise you'll regret it." Then he straightened, spoke at normal volume. "Come on, buddy, let's finish shopping." He put his hand on the boy's back, started guiding him away. The kid looked over his shoulder at me, pleading. I grabbed my phone, dialed 911. My hands were shaking so hard, it took 3 tries. The operator answered. 911, what's your emergency? "I'm at the Safeway on Madison. There's a man here with a boy." The kid passed me a note saying the man isn't his father. "They're walking toward the front of the store right now." The operator's voice sharpened. Professional, focused. "Can you describe them?" I did. The Seahawks jersey, the man's polo shirt, their location in the store. "Stay on the line. Officers are being dispatched. Do not approach them. Do you understand? Stay away but keep them in sight if possible." I followed, kept my distance. The man headed straight for the registers. Didn't buy anything. Just abandoned his cart in an aisle and walked toward the exit with the boy's hand clamped in his. The kid kept looking back. I mouthed, "Police are coming. Hold on." They reached the automatic doors. The man paused, looked back at me across the length of the store. Even from 50 feet away, I could see his expression. Pure rage. Then they were through the doors. Outside. I ran. Dropped my phone. Picked it up. The operator was saying my name, asking if I was still there. "They're leaving! They're going to the parking lot!" I burst through the doors. Afternoon sunlight blinded me. I scanned the lot. There. The man was dragging the boy toward a white sedan. The kid was fighting now, actually resisting, digging his heels in. The man yanked him forward. The boy's feet left the ground for a second. Other shoppers noticed. A woman loading groceries into her trunk stopped, stared, but nobody moved. Nobody helped. I ran toward them. Didn't think. Just ran. The man saw me coming. His face contorted. He grabbed the boy by both arms and bodily lifted him toward the car's back door. The kid screamed. Actually screamed. High and terrified. That broke the spell. 2 men near the entrance started moving. Someone was yelling. The white sedan's engine started. How? The man was still outside the car. Then I saw the second person. A woman in the driver's seat. Pale. Dark hair pulled back. She looked scared. Not angry like the man. Scared. The man threw open the back door. Tried to shove the boy inside. The kid grabbed the door frame. Held on. The man punched him in the ribs. The boy's grip loosened. I tackled the man from behind. Had no plan, no training. Just crashed into him with all my weight. We went down hard on the asphalt. The boy scrambled away. The man was stronger than he looked. He twisted underneath me. Got an arm free. Punched me in the jaw. Stars exploded across my vision. I tasted blood. Hands grabbed me. Pulled me off. The 2 men from the entrance. One of them was huge, built like he spent his life in a gym. He had the man pinned against the car in seconds. The other one was helping the boy. The woman in the driver's seat was screaming, "Let him go! You don't understand, please!" Sirens, getting closer. The man I'd tackled was breathing hard, staring at me with pure hatred. "You just killed him! You understand that? You just killed this kid!" The words made no sense. Police cars screeched into the parking lot. 3 of them. Officers poured out, guns drawn. Someone shouted for everyone to get on the ground. The scene devolved into chaos. The big guy holding the man let go and stepped back with his hands up. I did the same. Got on my knees. The boy ran to one of the officers, wrapped his arms around her legs, sobbing. The man in the polo shirt started laughing. Horrible sound, like something had broken inside him. "You have no idea what you've done. No fucking idea." An officer pushed him face first against the car, started cuffing him. The woman in the driver's seat was out now, hands raised, crying. "Please listen. Please, you have to understand." Nobody was listening. They cuffed her too, put her in a separate patrol car from the man. The boy was still clinging to the female officer. She was talking to him quietly, gentle. He kept shaking his head. An officer approached me. Young, crew cut, name tag read, Officer Vance. "You the one who called it in?" I nodded. Couldn't find words. My jaw throbbed where the man had hit me. "Need to get a statement. You hurt?" "I'm fine." Lie. But compared to what could have happened to that kid, I was fine. They separated us, took me to one patrol car, the boy to another. The man and woman were already being transported. I sat in the back and answered questions. Told the story from the beginning. The note, the confrontation, the parking lot. Officer Vance wrote everything down. "The boy, is he okay?" "Paramedics are checking him now. Seems physically unharmed, shaken up." "What happens to him?" Vance looked uncomfortable. "Not my call. Detectives will handle it. But you did the right thing. Kid might not be here otherwise." They took me to the police station. Not arrested. Witness. But I had to sit in an interview room and go through everything again with detectives. Detective Laura Simmons was mid-40s with sharp eyes and gray streaks in her dark hair. She recorded everything. Asked the same questions 3 different ways, trying to catch inconsistencies. After an hour, she leaned back. "The man you tackled is named William Fletcher. No criminal record. Clean as they come. Lives in Tacoma. The woman is his wife, Patricia Fletcher. Also clean." I waited. There was more. She was building to something. "They reported their son missing 3 days ago. 9-year-old boy named Ethan Fletcher. Disappeared from their backyard while playing. Massive search. FBI got involved. Amber Alert went out statewide." My stomach dropped. "That boy in the store. That was Ethan? We're waiting on positive ID, but yes, the physical description matches. The parents identified him immediately." I shook my head, trying to understand. "Then why did he write that note? If that's his father, that's what we're trying to figure out." Simmons watched me carefully. "Ethan's not talking. Won't say a word. Just keeps crying and asking to go home." "To the Fletcher's home?" "He won't clarify. Just keeps saying home." Simmons tapped her pen against the table. "Here's where it gets interesting. The note you received. We had it analyzed. The handwriting matches samples from Ethan's schoolwork. It's definitely his, but he won't admit to writing it. Won't explain anything. He's terrified." "Of what? His parents?" "They seem devastated. The mother hasn't stopped crying. The father's demanding we release them immediately, threatening lawsuits. He punched his own kid. In the ribs. I saw it." Simmons nodded. "We have the paramedic report. Ethan has extensive bruising. Ribs, back, upper arms. But here's the problem. All of the bruising is several days old. None of it fresh. None of it from today." The room tilted slightly. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying someone hurt that boy. Badly. Before today. But we don't know who." She pulled out photos. Crime scene shots. A basement room. Concrete walls. A mattress on the floor. Empty food wrappers. A bucket in the corner. This is where we found evidence of recent habitation. Ethan's fingerprints are everywhere, along with an unknown second set. Adult male, not William Fletcher. The photos made me sick. Someone was keeping him there. For 3 days, while his parents searched, while the FBI investigated, someone had him locked in that basement. Simmons pulled out another photo. "We found this on the wall, written in what appears to be crayon." The photo showed words scraped into concrete. "They're going to kill me. Tell my real dad I'm sorry." I stared at it. "His real dad? Not William Fletcher?" "That's the question." Simmons leaned forward. "William and Patricia Fletcher adopted Ethan when he was 3 years old. Closed adoption. Records sealed. They're his legal parents. Have been for 6 years. But maybe he found his biological father somehow. Maybe that's who took him. That's one theory." Simmons didn't sound convinced. "Here's another theory. Ethan was abused. Ran away. Got picked up by someone. Was held in that basement. Managed to escape. Found his way to that grocery store where you happened to be shopping. He didn't escape. He was with the Fletchers. Was he? Or did he run to them for protection and they were bringing him home when you interfered?" The words hit like a slap. "You think I made a mistake? I think we don't know the full story yet. They let me go after 4 hours. Told me to stay available. Don't leave town. I drove home in a daze. My apartment was exactly as I'd left it that morning. Dirty dishes in the sink. Unmade bed. Coffee mug on the counter. Normal life. But nothing felt normal. I turned on the news. The story was already breaking. Missing boy found. Parents reunited. Feel-good ending. Except the reporter mentioned a confrontation. A good Samaritan who may have misunderstood the situation. They didn't name me, but showed footage of the grocery store parking lot. My tackling William Fletcher was clearly visible. The comments online were already vicious. Idiot who can't mind his own business. Some hero attacking a father. This is why you don't play vigilante. I turned it off. Sat in the dark. Kept seeing the boy's face, the terror in his eyes, the note in my cart. That hadn't been fake. That fear had been real. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Is this Nathan Cross? Man's voice, older, rough. Who's asking? My name is David Fletcher. I'm William's father, Ethan's grandfather. I said nothing. I need to speak with you. In person. Tonight. It's about Ethan. About what really happened. I don't think that's a good idea. Please. My grandson is in danger. Real danger. And you're the only person who might believe me. Something in his voice. Desperation. Fear. Why would I believe you? Because you saw his face when he gave you that note. You know something was wrong. Still is wrong. He was right. I did know. Where? He gave me an address. A diner on the outskirts of town. Public place. Safe enough. 1 hour. Come alone. Don't tell anyone. They're watching. I went. Drove to the diner with my phone in my pocket. Ready to call 911 if this was a setup. Parking lot was nearly empty. One semi-truck, a few sedans. I parked near the exit. Easy escape. Inside smelled like coffee and grease. Classic American diner. Red vinyl booths. Checkerboard floor. A man sat in the back corner. Late 60s. Gray hair. Weathered face. He looked up when I entered. Gestured to the seat across from him. I sat. Kept my distance. One hand near my phone. Thank you for coming. David Fletcher's voice was hoarse. Like he'd been crying. Tell me what this is about. My grandson is not safe. William is not who you think he is. The police said he and his wife reported Ethan missing. That they've been searching for him. I know what they reported. I also know what they did. David pulled out a folder. Slid it across the table. 6 months ago, I started noticing changes in Ethan. He became quiet. Withdrawn. Stopped coming to my house for visits. William said he was having behavioral issues. Needed consistency. I opened the folder. Photos. Ethan at a birthday party. Smiling. Then Ethan a few months later. Different. Haunted eyes. Forced smile. Kids change. Not like this. David pulled out more. Photos. Bruises barely visible under a t-shirt sleeve. A split lip explained away as playground accident. I'm a retired police officer. 30 years with Seattle PD. I know abuse when I see it. You reported this? I tried. Called CPS. They did a home visit. Everything looked perfect. William and Patricia put on a good show. Ethan told them everything was fine. Case closed. David's hands shook as he pulled out another document. Then I hired a private investigator to watch the house, document what was happening. The report was detailed. Dated entries, times, observations. Most of it seemed normal. Then the entries from 3 weeks ago started getting darker. Ethan's seen through window, crying, facial injuries visible, parents arguing, loud enough for neighbors to hear. The night Ethan disappeared, the investigator was watching the house. He saw William take Ethan to the car, unconscious, wrapped in a blanket. Patricia followed. They drove to a storage facility on the south side, Unit 237. They carried Ethan inside, came out an hour later, without him. David's voice broke. They left their own son in a storage unit, then went home and called the police to report him missing. I stared at the report. This doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? Because I was getting close. Because CPS was starting to ask questions again after I made a second report. Because they needed Ethan gone. You mean they were going to... I couldn't say it. I mean they were going to kill him and make it look like a kidnapping gone wrong. A tragedy. They'd be the grieving parents, above suspicion. This is insane. Is it? You saw William today, in that parking lot. You saw what he's capable of. I had. The rage, the violence, the way he'd punched his own son. The storage facility. Did you go there? I tried. The locks were changed. Different unit number. When I confronted William, he said I was losing my mind, getting dementia, making up stories. David's eyes were red. He's my son, but he's a monster. And I can't prove it. This investigator. Where is he? Dead. Car accident 2 days after Ethan disappeared. Brake failure. Very convenient. The diner suddenly felt too small, too exposed. Why are you telling me this? Why not the police? I did tell them. They think I'm a grief-stricken grandfather who can't accept that his son is a good person. They think the stress of Ethan's disappearance is making me paranoid. He grabbed my hand. His grip was desperate. But you know. You saw Ethan's face. You read his note. You know something's wrong. I pulled my hand back. Even if everything you're saying is true, Ethan's back with his parents now. The police cleared them. What am I supposed to do? Help me get him out. Help me prove what they are. That's kidnapping. That's illegal. So is child abuse. So is attempted murder. David's voice rose. An old man at the counter glanced over. David lowered his voice. I'm asking you to do what's right, not what's legal. I stood up. I can't help you. I'm sorry about your grandson, but I can't break the law. Then he's dead. You understand that? When you leave here, you're signing his death warrant. The words followed me out of the diner, into the parking lot, into my car. I drove home through empty streets, got to my building, sat in the parking space, couldn't make myself go inside, kept thinking about Ethan's eyes, the way he'd looked at me, pleading. I pulled out my phone, searched for news about the investigator David mentioned, found an obituary. Gerald Vance, 52, died in single-car accident. Brake failure under investigation, posted 3 days ago. Could be coincidence. Probably was coincidence. I searched for William Fletcher, found his Facebook, perfect family photos, Ethan smiling in every picture. Patricia Fletcher worked as a nurse. William was an accountant. Upstanding citizens, community volunteers, everything clean. Too clean. I went inside, poured a drink, sat on my couch, couldn't stop thinking. The bruising on Ethan, days old, the basement room with his fingerprints, the message scratched in the wall. They're going to kill me. At midnight, my phone rang. Unknown number again. I answered. Mr. Cross? Different voice. Younger. familiar somehow. Who is this? My name is Marcus Webb. I'm a social worker with CPS. I was assigned to the Fletcher case 6 months ago after David Fletcher made his first report. I sat up straight. Why are you calling me? Because I need to know. When you saw Ethan today, did he look scared? Of his parents specifically? Yes. Absolutely yes. Silence on the other end. Then, I've been trying to build a case, but everything keeps disappearing. Reports get lost, evidence vanishes, and now Ethan's back home, and I'm being told to close the file. By who? My supervisor, who was having dinner with William Fletcher last week. I saw them, at a restaurant downtown. The pieces were clicking together, forming a picture I didn't want to see. You think your supervisor is protecting them? I think William Fletcher has connections. Money, influence. I think he's been systematically covering up his abuse for months. And I think when David got too close, William decided to stage Ethan's disappearance. To kill him and blame it on a kidnapper. Yes, Marcus's voice was strained. And now they have him back, and I can't do anything about it. CPS is closing the case. The police believe the parents, and in 48 hours I'll have no legal authority to even check on him. What about the basement, the room where Ethan was kept? Storage facility, rented under a fake name, paid in cash. They're trying to trace it, but it'll take weeks. And the crime scene was contaminated. Too many people through there. Evidence compromised. I stood up, started pacing. So what do? We? Mr. Cross, I shouldn't have called you. I could lose my job, my license. I'm only calling because I'm out of options. You want me to do something illegal. I want you to help me prove what's happening before that boy ends up dead. He gave me an address. That's the Fletcher house. I'm going to do a wellness check tomorrow. 11 a.m. I need a witness. Someone who's seen Ethan. Someone who knows he was terrified. The police won't like that. I don't care what the police like. I care about that kid. Marcus hung up. I sat in the dark. Thought about David's words. Do what's right, not what's legal. Thought about Ethan's note. The shaky handwriting. The fear. The next morning I drove to the Fletcher house. Suburban neighborhood. Nice houses. Manicured lawns. The kind of place where nothing bad ever happens. Marcus was waiting in his car. Young, black, tired eyes. He got out when he saw me. Thank you for coming. I wasn't sure you would. What's the plan? I do the wellness check. You wait outside. If something feels wrong, if I don't come out in 10 minutes, call the police. That's not much of a plan. It's what we have. We walked to the front door. Marcus knocked. Patricia Fletcher answered. She looked exhausted, eyes red from crying. She saw Marcus, and her expression hardened. What do you want? Ms. Fletcher, I need to conduct a wellness check on Ethan. Standard procedure after a missing child case. He's fine. Leave us alone. I still need to see him. Verify his well-being. You need a warrant. Actually, I don't. I'm with CPS. I have authority to conduct wellness checks when there's been a previous report. Patricia's hands clenched. There was no valid report. That was dismissed. Nevertheless, Marcus stepped forward. I need to see Ethan, now, or I'll have to escalate this to a judge, which will mean more official scrutiny, more visits, more disruption. Patricia stared at him, then stepped aside. Fine, but William is calling our lawyer. Marcus went inside. I stayed on the porch, watched through the open door. The house looked normal. Family photos on the walls, kids' toys scattered around. Patricia led Marcus upstairs. They disappeared from view. I counted seconds. 1 minute. 2 minutes. Voices upstairs. Muffled. 3 minutes. My phone was in my hand. Ready. 4 minutes. Marcus appeared at the top of the stairs. His face was wrong. Pale. Shocked. He practically ran down. Patricia followed. You satisfied? He's fine. Just tired. Now get out. Marcus said nothing. Just walked past me. Grabbed my arm. Pulled me toward his car. When we were out of earshot, he turned. Ethan's drugged. Heavily sedated. Could barely open his eyes. What? They're keeping him unconscious. So he can't talk. Can't tell anyone what happened. Marcus pulled out his phone. I'm calling the police. This is medical neglect. Child endangerment. He dialed. Started explaining to whoever answered. Behind us, the front door opened. William Fletcher stepped out. He saw Marcus on the phone. His face went dark. He started walking toward us. Fast. Marcus saw him coming. Sir, I need you to step back. William ignored him. Came straight at us. You're harassing my family. I'm within my rights to defend my property. We're on the sidewalk, public property, and I'm conducting official business. William stopped 3 feet away. Looked at me. Recognition dawned. You, from the grocery store. His voice was poison. You just can't mind your own business, can you? Your son asked me for help. My son has trauma-induced delusions. The doctors explained this. After being kidnapped, being held in that basement, his mind created false memories. Defense mechanism. That's bullshit, Marcus said. The only trauma is what you've been inflicting. William smiled. Cold. Careful, Mr. Webb. Defamation is a serious offense, especially from someone in your position. I'd hate for you to lose your career over baseless accusations. The only thing I'm going to lose is my patience. Ethan needs a medical evaluation. Independent. Not by a doctor you've paid off. Are you accusing me of bribing a physician? William pulled out his phone. I'm recording this. Everything you're saying. My lawyer is going to destroy you. Marcus didn't back down. Record away. When this goes to court, I want every word documented. Police arrived 10 minutes later. Same officers from the grocery store. Officer Vance recognized me immediately. Mr. Cross, what's going on? William spoke first. These two are harassing my family, trespassing, making slanderous accusations. I want them arrested. We're not on your property, Marcus said. And I'm conducting a legal wellness check, which revealed that Ethan Fletcher is being kept in a drugged state. I'm requesting immediate medical intervention. Vance looked between us. Mr. Fletcher, is your son on medication? Yes. Prescribed by his doctor. For trauma. After his kidnapping. Completely legal. I need to see the prescription, Marcus said, and I need to speak with the prescribing doctor. This is excessive sedation, child endangerment. You need to leave, now, before I file a restraining order. William's voice was ice. Patricia appeared in the doorway. William, maybe we should let them see Ethan. Prove everything is fine. William turned on her. Shut up, Patricia. The mask slipped, just for a second, but everyone saw it. The contempt, the anger. Patricia flinched, stepped back. Officer Vance noticed. His expression changed. Mr. Fletcher, I think it would be best if we all calm down. Maybe let the social worker do his job. Clear this up quickly. I don't need to let anyone do anything. This is my home, my family. You're leaving. All of you. William's phone buzzed. He glanced at it. His face went white. No. He ran back into the house. Patricia screamed. We all ran, through the front door, up the stairs. Ethan's bedroom door was open, the window too, curtains blowing in the breeze. The room was empty. Ethan was gone. William was on his phone, screaming. Find him! He can't have gone far. He's drugged. He can barely walk. Marcus pushed past him, looked out the window. There's a tree. He climbed down. I leaned out. Sure enough, the oak tree in the front yard had branches close to the window, and on the lawn below, small footprints in the dew-wet grass. Leading toward the street, Officer Vance was already radioing for backup. All units. Missing child. 9-year-old boy. Ethan Fletcher. Last seen wearing... He looked at Patricia. What was he wearing? Blue pajamas. Dinosaur pattern. Same as the grocery store. The kid had been in pajamas this whole time. Vance continued describing. Units responded immediately. This neighborhood was about to be swarmed. William grabbed Vance's arm. You have to find him. He's not in his right mind. He's confused. Dangerous to himself. Sir, let go of me. He might hurt himself. Or someone else. You need to find him before... Before what, Mr. Fletcher? Marcus stepped between them. Before he tells someone the truth? William's fist came out of nowhere. Caught Marcus in the jaw. Marcus went down hard. Vance grabbed William. You're under assault. Turn around. Hands behind your back. Get off me. My son is missing. You just assaulted a social worker. You're under arrest. Vance cuffed him. William was screaming. Thrashing. Patricia was crying on the stairs. I ran outside. Looked up and down the street. Ethan could be anywhere. Drugged. Scared. Hiding. I started checking yards. Behind bushes. Under porches. Other officers arrived. Started systematic search. Going door to door. Checking every possible hiding spot. Marcus came outside holding his jaw. Kid's smarter than I thought. Waited until they were distracted. Made his move. He's 9 years old and sedated. He can't have gone far. Unless someone picked him up. The words hung there. We both thought the same thing. David Fletcher. Ethan's grandfather. Did he take the kid? Was this planned? My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Nathan Cross? It was David. I have Ethan. He's safe. But we need to move fast. Where are you? Can't say on this phone. They're listening. Just know he's safe. And I'm taking him somewhere William can't reach. David, you're making this worse. The police will find you. This is kidnapping. This is rescue. There's a difference. He hung up. I stared at my phone. Marcus was watching. What? David Fletcher has him. Says he's taking him somewhere safe. Shit. Marcus pulled out his phone. I have to report this. If I don't, I'm complicit. Wait. Just wait. Think about this. David's a retired cop. He knows what he's doing. And he's trying to protect Ethan. By kidnapping him? That's not protection. That's vigilante justice. Maybe that's what it takes. Maybe the system is too broken. Marcus shook his head. I can't believe I'm hearing this from you. You called 911 yesterday. You trusted the system. Yesterday I thought the system worked. Today I'm watching it protect an abuser. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. Then, if I don't report this in the next 10 minutes, I lose my job, my license, everything I've worked for. And if you do report it, Ethan goes back to William, back to being drugged, abused, eventually killed. The choice hung between us. Marcus looked at the Fletcher house. William was being loaded into a patrol car, still screaming, still demanding they find his son. Okay, Marcus said quietly. Okay. I didn't hear that phone call. I don't know where David went, but I'm going to keep looking. Officially, by the book. Thank you. Don't thank me. If this goes wrong, we're both finished. I left. Got in my car. Drove aimlessly. Phone in my hand. Waiting. An hour later, David called again. We're safe. For now. But I need your help. What kind of help? I need to prove what William did. Need evidence that will stand up in court. Make it impossible for them to give Ethan back. How am I supposed to do that? William has a storage unit. The one where they kept Ethan. Unit 237. I couldn't get in before. But with William in custody, maybe you can. That's breaking and entering. That's the only way to save this kid. Your choice. Be a hero or be a bystander. He hung up. I drove to the storage facility. South side of town. Run down. Minimal security. One bored attendant in a booth. I parked and walked past. The attendant didn't look up from his phone. Units stretched out in rows. Metal doors. Combination locks. Found Unit 237. The lock looked standard. I pulled out my phone. Searched how to pick a padlock. Found a video. It looked simple. Probably wasn't. I walked to my car. Rummaged in the trunk. Found a toolbox. Pulled out 2 thin pieces of metal. Walked back. The attendant was gone. Bathroom break, maybe. I worked on the lock. It took 15 minutes. My hands were shaking. The lock finally gave. Clicked open. I pulled the door up. The smell hit me first. Urine. Sweat. Fear. The space was maybe 10 by 10. Concrete floor. No windows. A bare mattress in the corner. Dried blood on it. Food wrappers scattered around. Empty water bottles. A bucket in the corner that explained the smell. And on the wall. Scratched into the concrete. Messages. Help me. Please, someone help. They're going to kill me. I'm sorry. I took photos. Every angle, every detail, the lock, the door, the messages, everything. My phone was filling up with evidence. Then I heard voices outside. Footsteps. I looked around. No back exit, no windows, just the one door. I was trapped. The footsteps got closer. I pressed against the wall beside the door. Hoped whoever it was would walk past. They didn't. The shadow fell across the entrance. Someone looked inside. Jesus Christ. It was Marcus. He stepped in, saw me. What the hell are you doing here? Collecting evidence. I showed him my phone. The photos. He looked at them. His expression darkened. This is bad. This is really bad. This is proof. This is what we need to put William away. This is an illegal search. Any lawyer will get this thrown out. And you'll be charged with breaking and entering. I don't care. Ethan's safety is worth more than my record. Marcus was quiet, looking around the unit, at the messages on the wall, the blood. We need to call the police, report this. Do it the right way. The right way hasn't worked. You said it yourself. Evidence keeps disappearing. Reports get lost. William has protection. So what's your plan? Play vigilante? That makes you just as bad as him. No, it makes me someone who's willing to do what it takes. We stared at each other. Then Marcus pulled out his phone. I'm calling this in. Anonymous tip. About this storage unit. When the police arrive, you need to be gone. Understand? You were never here. Thank you. Don't thank me. If this backfires, we're both going to prison. I left through the back, climbed the fence, got to my car. Marcus stayed behind, making the call. I drove to a coffee shop, sat in the parking lot, watched the news on my phone. Breaking story. Ethan Fletcher missing again. Grandfather suspected of kidnapping. Manhunt underway. My phone rang. David. I saw the news. They're calling me a kidnapper. You are a kidnapper, technically. I'm protecting my grandson. There's a difference. Where are you? Safe house. Place William doesn't know about. Old friend of mine. Retired cop. He understands. The police are looking for you. FBI, probably. You can't hide forever. I don't need forever. Just long enough to get Ethan somewhere William can't reach. Out of state, maybe out of country. That's insane. That's not a life. It's better than being dead. He had a point. I found the storage unit. Documented everything. Police should be there by now. Good. That'll help. But it won't be enough. William has lawyers, money, connections. He'll explain it away somehow. Then what else do you need? I need Ethan's testimony. On video. Telling everything. What William did. What Patricia helped hide. All of it. He's 9 years old and drugged. That's not reliable. He's clearing up. I stopped the medication. In a few hours, he'll be coherent and angry. Kids remember. They always remember. I didn't respond. David continued. I'm sending you an address. Tonight. 8 p.m. Come alone. Bring a camera. We're ending this. The address was an hour outside Seattle. Rural area, farmland and forests. I drove out as the sun set. No other cars on the road. Just me and my thoughts. This was wrong. Everything about this was wrong. But doing nothing was worse. The house was small, run down, surrounded by trees. One car in the driveway. Lights on inside. I parked. Walked to the door. It opened before I could knock. David stood there. He looked older than at the diner. Worn down. Come in. Quickly. Inside was sparse. Basic furniture. No personal touches. A safe house indeed. Ethan sat on a couch. He looked different. More alert. The fog of sedation clearing. He saw me in recognition. Sparked. You're the man from the store. The one who helped me. His voice was small but steady. That's right. I'm Nathan. Grandpa says you're going to help us. Help me tell people what Daddy did. I looked at David. He nodded. Ethan's ready. He wants to talk. Tell his story. I pulled out my phone. Set it to record. Sat across from Ethan. Okay. Ethan, can you tell me what happened? Starting from the beginning. Ethan took a deep breath. Daddy started getting mad about 6 months ago. When Mom said I couldn't go to Grandpa's house anymore, he said Grandpa was asking too many questions, making Mom and Dad look bad. What kind of questions? About my bruises and why I was sad. Grandpa saw me crying once. Daddy got really mad. Said I was being dramatic. That real men don't cry. Classic abuse language. Conditioning. What happened next? Daddy said I needed to be stronger. Started making me do exercises. Push-ups, running. If I couldn't finish, he'd make me do more. And if I complained, Ethan's voice broke. He'd what? He'd lock me in the basement. For hours. Sometimes all day with no food, no water, just dark. David was standing in the corner. Fists clenched. Face rigid. Mom knew? Mom tried to stop him at first, but then Daddy started getting mad at her too. I heard them fighting. He said if she didn't support him, he'd leave. Take all the money. She'd have nothing. So she went along with it. Ethan nodded. She started giving me medicine. Said it would help me sleep. Help me forget. But I didn't want to forget. I wanted to leave. Is that why you wrote the note? In the grocery store? I escaped. From the storage place. Daddy put me there. Said I was being punished. That he'd come get me when I learned my lesson. But the lock was bad. I got out. Walked for hours. Found the store. Saw you and thought maybe you'd help. I did help. I called the police. But then they gave me back. And Daddy was so mad. So was Mom. They gave me more medicine. Lots of it. I couldn't stay awake. But then Grandpa came. Took me away. And now I'm here. Ethan looked around the room. Am I safe now? The question broke my heart. Yes. You're safe. I promise. But even as I said it, I wasn't sure. The video was good. Damning. But would it be enough? Would anyone believe a traumatized 9-year-old over his respectable parents? David walked me outside an hour later. That video, you need to get it to the right people, not the local police. They're compromised. FBI, news media, anyone who will listen. This is still kidnapping. You're still breaking the law. I know, and I'll pay for it. But Ethan will be safe. That's what matters. What's your plan? Keep running? I have connections. Friends from my police days. People who can get us new identities. New life. It's not ideal, but it's better than the alternative. You're talking about witness protection. Illegal witness protection. I'm talking about survival. Headlights appeared down the road, moving fast. David saw them. Shit! You were followed. I wasn't. I checked. Then they tracked your phone. Get inside. Now! We ran. The car skidded to a stop in front of the house. Doors opened. William Fletcher stepped out. He wasn't supposed to be out of custody. How was he out? Patricia was with him, and 2 other men. Large, professional, not police. Private security, maybe. William saw us, smiled. David, Nathan, how nice. All together. How did you get out? David called. Bail. Money talks, and false imprisonment charges tend to get dropped when the victim's father is a judge. Of course. More connections. More protection. You can't take Ethan. He's coming with me. I moved between William and the house. Over my dead body. William gestured. The 2 men with him pulled out guns. That can be arranged. This was about to turn into a standoff. A shootout. With a 9-year-old inside. David was beside me. I could feel him tensing, ready to fight. You don't want to do this, William. Too many witnesses, too much evidence. You're already facing assault charges. Add murder, you'll never walk free. Who said anything about murder? This is self-defense. You broke into my storage unit, kidnapped my son, threatened my family. I'm within my rights to protect myself. He was going to kill us, make it look justified, and probably get away with it. Then my phone rang, loud in the tense silence. I pulled it out. Marcus. I answered on speaker. Nathan, don't do anything stupid. I've got units on the way, 10 minutes out. William heard. His smile faltered. You called the police? I didn't have to. Marcus has been tracking this whole situation. He knows you're here, knows what you're planning. It was a bluff. But William didn't know that. The 2 armed men looked at William, waiting for orders. Patricia grabbed his arm. William, we need to leave, now, before they get here. No, we're not leaving without Ethan. Then we're all going to prison. Is that what you want? William's face contorted, rage and frustration. He looked at me, at David, at the house where Ethan was hiding. This isn't over, you understand? This will never be over. He got back in the car. The armed men followed. They drove off, disappeared into the darkness. I called Marcus back. Please tell me you really did call units. I did, after I tracked your phone. What the hell were you thinking going out there alone? I was thinking I needed evidence. I got it. Video testimony from Ethan. Everything. Send it to me. Now. I'm forwarding it to the FBI, to every news outlet I can find, to my supervisor's supervisor. Everyone. I sent the video, then called 911, reported the confrontation, the armed men, the threats. Units arrived 20 minutes later. Real ones this time. They took statements, secured the scene. David was arrested. Kidnapping charges. They read him his rights. He didn't fight. Just asked them to protect Ethan. Make sure he didn't go back to William. The officers took Ethan into protective custody. Gentle. Careful. He cried when they separated him from David. Begged them not to take his grandpa away. It was heartbreaking. I gave my statement. Told them everything. The storage unit. The video. The confrontation. They wrote it all down. Said detectives would be in touch. I drove home at midnight. Exhausted. Traumatized. Questioning every choice I'd made. The next morning, the story broke. National news. Video of Ethan's testimony leaked online. Someone at the FBI or Marcus or maybe someone else. It went viral. Millions of views in hours. The public reaction was immediate. Outrage. Demands for William's arrest. For investigation into how he'd been released. For justice. William and Patricia were arrested that afternoon. Charged with child abuse, false imprisonment, conspiracy. The evidence was overwhelming. The storage unit. Ethan's testimony. Medical records showing sedation. The judge denied bail. Public pressure was too strong. The trial took 6 months. I testified. Marcus testified. David testified from prison. Ethan testified via video. Too traumatized to appear in person. The defense tried everything. Character assassination. Claims of coaching. Questions about the video's authenticity. But the jury saw through it. Guilty on all counts. William got 25 years. Patricia got 15. They both screamed as they were led away. Still claiming innocence. Still playing victims. David was sentenced for kidnapping. 5 years. But with credit for time served and good behavior, he'd be out in 3. The judge acknowledged his impossible situation. A man trying to save his grandson when the system failed. Ethan went into foster care temporarily, then to a distant aunt. Someone who'd been vetted, checked, verified as safe. He started therapy, intensive, daily sessions working through trauma. Marcus visited him weekly, keeping tabs, making sure he was okay. I visited once, 3 months after the trial. Ethan was different, calmer. The fear in his eyes had dimmed, not gone, but manageable. He thanked me, for reading his note, for not walking away, for helping when no one else would. I told him he was brave, that he saved himself. I just happened to be there. We kept in touch through Marcus, updates every few months. Ethan was doing better, making friends, sleeping through the night, learning to trust again. 2 years later, I got a letter from Ethan. He was 11 now. The handwriting was careful, deliberate. Thank you for not ignoring me. Adults told me nobody would believe a kid, that I should just accept my life. But you believed me. You saved me. I'm okay now. And I'm going to make sure other kids like me get help too. Someday I'll be a social worker, like Marcus. And I'll answer when kids ask for help. The letter sat on my refrigerator for years. A reminder that sometimes doing the right thing means breaking the rules. The systems fail, but people don't have to. That a 9-year-old's desperate, Note in a grocery store can change everything if someone just pays attention. David got out of prison, started an organization helping grandparents navigate custody battles, fighting for kids trapped in abusive homes. Ethan visited him every week, their relationship stronger than before, built on survival and sacrifice. I went back to my normal life, but nothing felt normal anymore. Every kid I saw in a store, I watched a little closer. Every family that seemed too perfect, I questioned. Because I learned that evil doesn't announce itself. It hides behind smiles and respectability, behind closed doors and kept secrets, until someone hears a cry for help and refuses to look away. That's all it takes. One person willing to listen. One person willing to act. One person who sees a note in their shopping cart and chooses to believe the terrified child who wrote it. Everything else follows from that single moment of courage. And sometimes, just sometimes, it's enough to save a life. Thanks for watching till the end. Make sure to subscribe and like to not miss the next story.